This is Module A13. It's about data organization and storage. Folder and file naming conventions. Developing and adopting a good naming convention enables researchers to easily and quickly find a file and avoid duplication of information. Good names convey context about what the file contains by stating information such as experimental type or number, researcher's name or initials, sample type or number, date, site, and version. Names should be descriptive, short, and consistent, use dashes rather than spaces, and follow date conventions such as shown here. Beginning file names with dates is useful because files will sort chronologically. The following is an example of best practices in labeling a main folder. Here's an example of the folder and file labeling. We have Drosophila caloric restriction. This is the main folder. Then we have subfolders at second and third levels with dates, and then files with the suffix. So this is the main folder. Here is a subfolder of 2016, and this would be a specific date in 2016. And then these are the files with the suffixes. The same with the subfolders. This is 2017 subfolder with the second level subfolders, and then within these would be the Excel files. Note that this set of example of folders and file naming includes what computer scientists refer to as the camel case and the pothole case. The former referring to the names that contain a mix of upper and lower case like fly experiment 1, and the latter to names that separate parts of a name with an underscore, that is 2016-10-30, and then an underscore fly experiment. Best practices in file naming also include provisions for version control. One such strategy, illustrated in the example here, shows two versions of the fly experiment 3, the first with V01 and the second with V02, both separated from the previous text with an underscore. Another useful strategy for version control is the use of date as a suffix at the end. Thus, the last version is always the latest version. For example, the three labeled files shown here refer to a database created on October 3rd, 2018 and updated on November 13th and December 22nd. The numbers at the end for year, month, and day are interpreted by the computer as the sequence of numbers 20,181,003, 20,181,113, and 20,181,222, respectively. Storage. The issue of data storage as part of a larger data management strategy has two levels. The first of which is short-term storage for a backup of working files during the active use. For most research data, the rule of thumb is to follow the 3-2-1 backup rule. This rule recommends maintaining 3 copies of data on at least 2 different types of storage media, like hard drive versus CD, with 1 off-site copy. The off-site copy protects against fire or natural disaster. The third copy of data is a just-in-case backup. The second level of concern is long-term storage and preservation. That is, what happens to data after it is no longer in active use. Preservation includes storage and backup as well as careful documentation. That is, for example, data dictionaries and coding. A rule of thumb is to retain data that supports publications and reports and data that is irreproducible. In other words, it is tied to a time and a place. This ends Module A13 on management of demographic data.